I just found the best weather forecast in the world. It's supposed to be the most accurate ever. I'm skeptical. Weather forecasting is difficult. How come they could suddenly forecast the future perfectly? Because their website said so? Why would you believe that? Why not? Maybe they just have lots of computers. Computers aren't the only ingredient in making a weather forecast. What else do you need? Well, you need to tell the computer how the weather works. This is the most difficult part. Telling the computer how winds blow, how high the mountains are, how much sunshine is coming in, where the clouds are going, etc. How do you even tell the computer that? Well, the computer divides the atmosphere into chunks, like little packets of air, and then it uses the laws of physics to see how those packets of air fly around and interact with each other. For example, hot air rises. Okay, great. So then if they can tell where all the packets of air are going, how come they can't predict the weather? Because our computer model of the world is just a model. It's not perfect. Why not? A few reasons. One, air doesn't really travel in packets. So that's just an estimation that causes errors in the model. We do something called parameterization, where we make generalizations that approximate how these packets will interact. Well, what if you just had a super high resolution model so you could show how air interacts at a very small scale? Well, there are limits to our computing power, and also the weather is chaotic. So tiny little changes in the model make a big difference. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? The saying goes that if a butterfly flaps its wings, this could affect a storm on the other side of the world. Exactly. So any tiny amount of imprecision in our model means that the model isn't perfect, and it might be accurate in the near future, but then less and less useful when making forecasts farther in the future as that tiny error propagates into something bigger. Okay, so tiny imperfections in our model mean that it's hard to forecast a long time into the future. What else? Well, another big problem is that we have to tell the model what is happening today in order to forecast what will happen tomorrow. Like, where are the clouds right now in order to know where they will be tomorrow? And why can't we tell the model that? We can, but we don't have perfect information about exactly what is happening right now. We have some weather stations, but they don't cover every inch of the planet. And we have some satellite information, but that's also not perfect. So the model has an imperfect starting point, which then makes it hard to have a perfect forecast for the future. Gosh, this sounds hard. Can't AI just fix it? Artificial intelligence-based models are great. And if they have a lot of historical data, they can learn patterns and produce useful forecasts for the future. But at least right now, they aren't perfect. Why not? Because they only have limited information from the past to learn from. So in the past, the AI might see that certain wind patterns bring rain to your region, but if a new pattern happens that the AI hasn't seen before, it won't be correct and tell you that that new pattern also might cause major rain in your region. Sounds like I'm better off ignoring the weather forecasts altogether. Don't be dramatic. Just because the forecasts aren't perfect doesn't mean that you can't use them. They're extremely useful. It's just important to know the accuracy of the forecast so you know what to do with the information. Right. So if it's 100% chance of rain versus a 10% chance of rain, I can make the right decision. Exactly. A forecast doesn't need to be perfect to be useful. You just need to understand its limits, how confident it is, how far ahead it's looking, and what kind of decisions you're making. So I shouldn't ask, is this forecast right? But instead ask, how should I act given what this forecast tells me? Bingo. It's not about perfection, it's about making better choices with the best information we have.